It is time to find out if they will be Godsent or Homesent in this case. We go into the second map now. They're set versus Epsilon, and Epsilon at the very last moment pulling off probably one of the most incredible plays in recent Counter-Strike history there. Barbar with a huge gambit, leaving a single player on the site to defend with a deagle and wrapping 2 around, and even throwing away one of his own teammates to pull off an incredible 1v4 clutch in mere seconds. Guarantees them that first map, and now we go on to the second one here on Cash.
So Cash now coming up. The question is, how has this affected the mindset, the mental state of Godsent? Will this be a tilted Godsent we see as we saw the last time around when these two played, where they had that terrible Mirage T-side and they said it was because they were tilted? If that tilted them, then this has to tilt them even more. So the question is, what Godsent are we going to see?
Well, Schneider wants to get back into it. He finds that first kill. Whoa, a wild eagle appears there from Barbar. Takes down Schneider, gets them that first kill, and they're moving very quickly now to take control. And Draken, in the meantime, has pushed his way all the way into the B-bomb site. They're running them over all of a sudden. And yeah, this actually might not go through all the way. I just realized our left side of the minimap's cut off, so...
I was kind of like, what was going on there? Why are there 2 players in CT spawn? Is this some next level meta? No, they're just not live yet.
Alright.
We're so eager to get into the game. We just want to see this game happen so badly right now.
Well, they reset it for us, so...
Thank you.
I'm assuming we'll figure out what happened there and then actually get started in a second.
Yeah. This is almost like a Joe Miller moment where you just start commentating over a replay. Let's get it really out. Every great caster has to come through that. So with that prediction, you're going to be just as great as Joe Miller. Just saying. And Joe Miller being one of the greatest casters, so that's not a bad thing.
A little bit of a slip up. It's all good.
It's okay. It's okay, mate.
Let's just forget that happened, guys. Move on from that.
No worries. No worries. But
I think it actually was live, and there's just something that went wrong.
Yeah. No.
So.
It's
not entirely.
They
my
set
fault.
you up, Blue. They set you up.
Let's calm down here.
No, but to focus back on the game, I think 2 of the most important people, we just saw them on your cameras. It was first up, it was Barbar, the in-game leader of Epsilon, and then it was JW, the AWP player, and the young prodigy for Godsent. And JW is one of these players. Flush is the same. They have this. They get affected by this so badly. And Device is also one of these same type of people who, when he loses a close game, and even if he's in a situation where he does his job correctly and still loses, it will affect them terribly. To be honest, we saw Flusher and JW as well. Last time around, being so affected by a loss. They were on the brink of just being totally destroyed and breaking down, crying. Of course, they have a strong mindset, so that doesn't happen. But these guys are in probably the worst spot they have been in their entire careers so far.
I mean, at this point, too, might as well just bring this up since it's out in the open anyway. Schneider, like a tweet just after that last map, says, "At this point, we deserve to lose," with 2 upside-down smiley faces.
They're tilt smiley.
Emojis. Sorry, not smiley faces. Oh. But yeah, so... Just gives you a good picture in terms of where the mindset of at least one of their players are currently.
So Godsent, if they get eliminated and totally wrecked in this pistol round, their confidence will be low. But let's see, they still have the chance. They are some incredibly individually skilled players. Can they make it work though?
And so immediately here, pushing out, they get mid control for free. Godsent have a good kind of box in on this, however. They've kind of gone out of the B-bomb, so they're expecting this to go into A. They have the smoke set up, and JW's going to push out Barbar. They were ready to each other's faces. Barbar gets the kill. Lekro, though, is keeping this alive for Godsent. He's picked up those 2 kills and still holds a position in quad. A 3rd for him, and now this is brought down to a 2 versus 2. But Epsilon, they might have a lock on a Pronax here, and they're going to go hunting for him. He pushes out a Z, and Rez instantly gets the Gusher onto him, knocks him out of the map. And it's just Lekro, who's already picked up 3 kills, but he's going to have to go for the ace if he wants to clutch this.
And let's see how Lekro can he do it. The new guy in Epsilon, new guy in Godsent, excuse me. And he has been, in my opinion, on point so far, but we need the last 10% and he won't. Another guy who's been on point with the pistol so far, Rez. Did you see that one tap onto Pronax? It doesn't even matter how good Pronax is in the world. Like, he's just going to get wrecked every single time that happens. So Resonator coming in huge there. Darth Snyder has returned. So will he bring the power?
Oh, is the hood up?
The hood is up.
Oh, the hood is up. Okay.
That means Godsent will win this map.
He's a Sith Lord now.
Yeah. Channel the anger.
Yeah, we still have lightsabers in this game, though, so he can't deflect bullets.
That is true. Hopefully you can have like a blue knife or something, or a red knife, and that'll be the closest we can get.
Be Valve's next attempt to bring in players.
They steal like the IP of Disney, just screw it. Never mind.
Flusha's got a nice position behind the smoke, actually, but I don't think
Yeah.
he spotted Rez yet. There we go. He's picked him up, and there's the first pickup for him. Trying to go for a second. Out of ammo, though. 12 bullets, always so brutal. Barbari's going to catch the trade back in mid, and this will allow them a free custody over it.
Is that Molotov perfect? No, it's not. Pronex is actually... Oh,
Pronex is back in checkers
I
anyway.
cannot see, apparently. I have glasses and still cannot see.
the X-ray and the mini-map look very off sometimes, I know, but...
Yeah, I actually imagine Pronex being in that position, because it's not a bad position, to be honest. If you're in this kind of force-up round and you have a CZ 75, that position behind the sandbags is really good, and that is why it gets mollied off as well so often in these rounds. Barbar with the Mac 10, of course, looking just to spray down people. Look at JW wrapping in from behind, picks up a Mac 10 as well, and surely gets this kill.
He's going to be able to close out on a Kale, and now all of a sudden Godsent have the negotiating power in this round, but Barbar's push right now to Z is dangerous. I think it's expected, however. We can see Schneider moving in. He is expecting someone to push out from here. But at the same time, up close, Barbar having the SMG. This could go either way. It's really going to be kind of iffy here, depending on the first couple contacts. He ends up winning this one. Schneider pushing in. He spots him, and it's at an off angle, too. JW finding that pickup, and then Schneider closes it down, and Godsent upset in the second round there, sending Epsilon's economy down the drain.
So here we go, as you said, economy equals gone right now. Godsent answering back with a round of their own, and great play by Snyder. Great way of just foreseeing the positions of the terrorist and just pre-firing that corner, getting the frag as well. And now Godsent now ties us up 1-1, and the economy is in their favor.
And with that, Godsent will see them invest upwards here. But, of course, as we've come to somewhat expect from Epsilon, too, they're not going to take those rounds lightly. They go right back into the buy themselves. The 3 Deagles, we've seen how dangerous those can be, specifically in Barbar's and Rez's hands on the last map there. Freddy B having his moments here and there, too. And Draken and Kalit just working with the Tech 9s. Godsent, though, barely moving an inch. You could draw a straight line in their defense right now, and nobody's going past that like 3rd waypoint on the map forward. JW's going to change that, though, moving up a little bit to investigate, but beyond that, playing it very safe, including out here in mid, just letting Epsilon kind of take control of the initial area. No peek on Z, though, and this is what could box Draken out here is the Z player. No peek still, though. Flush is going to go for it, but it'll be a bit late, and that nade, actually, pretty on point. Draken avoids some of the damage, but still down to 53 afterwards.
So here we go, Draken once again trying to push out, and Pronax pushing out with the UMP-45. That's what we need for him to get frags and him to get rolling confidence-wise and frag-wise, because it has been a big point of discussion. Pronax and his frags, is it going to be enough for a top-level team like Godsent to succeed? And there we go, another one who is succeeding right now is JW, gets another frag. Rez, though, takes down Lecro.
Now JW push back behind the smoke there. Epsilon, they get control. They actually should be able to guarantee themselves a plant. JW with the timing on this push, though, could send it the other direction. No, this sprite's messy, but he gets the kill. It's after the plant, and Resonator's just found another kill. We go into a 2 versus 2 now. Pronax and Snyder certainly still have an advantage in this one, with the health pools being much, much lower. Rez goes for that flick. The second attempt connects. They bring him down low, and now Pronax, the last one alive. Rez just goes off, knocks out half of his health, but he's waiting for this one. Kelly gets more damage off on the cross. Pronax can't go on to that bomb yet, and Kelly looking for the flank. The flashbang's in the complete wrong position. Pronax not even looking for him properly right now, and now Kelly's going to double back. He's got him read perfectly, but no! Pronax, the last second flick, gets the headshot on the Deagle, and he's going to get that defuse.
That has to be wonderful for Pronax self-confidence. Clutching around like that and clutching with a Deagle one-shot in the end. So Pronax now, guys, he is back, hopefully, and he can help Godsent bring this second map their way and take us to the 3rd one.
So Pronax saves it. We saw it in the last map there, too. He was kind of at the bottom of the barrel for fragging power, but that never remains consistent here for any of these Swedish rosters in terms of who is slumping and who is actually bringing the firepower. It seems like Pronax has woken up here for the second map, and he is certainly bringing the firepower so far.
Yeah, and he's even going to go for the aggressive nade here. Rez, though, also going for aggressive plays. He's going to get one, not the second, surely. JW takes him down. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Flusher on the scout. We saw how much damage he could do with that. On Mirage, where he got that double kill and even also helped his teammate to get a 3rd one. So here we go. Epsilon on the pistol, but just the pistol. Barbar has head armor as well, but that is the only bright side. That's nice. JW using the nade to remove that rifle to his opponent so they can't pick it up. Picks it up himself. Great little detail from JW.
And so the rest of Epsilon here kind of just twiddling their thumbs across the map, unfortunately. Sitting back and waiting for someone on Godsent to make a mistake, but they seem somewhat drilled now in how to actually proceed on these rounds here. Not wanting to peek their heads out at all. JW's just been spotted by Barbar, but you still have that player in Z that can peek out. Draken actually, though, getting that kill. That's actually going to send a lot of worries over into the B bomb site. But Epsilon themselves still remaining steady here. They spawn another player on Z, though, so that should send Flusha back over to at least the truck spot, which he's going to peek out for here now. Barbar himself still wanting to impact. The flank coming in from A main, but JW is able to spot it, kind of defuse the situation, take out Kelly. And these last three, well, they'll try to make the hit on A, but I think Godsent have the read now. And there's Flusha with another pickup. Schneider finally taking down Barbar, Draken at 4 HP. Doubt he's going to have much of an impact here.
Yeah, definitely. 1v3 with 4 HP is not going to be doable for him. So Godsent going to go up 3-1 here on the CT side of the E-Cache. And, well, we have to remember that it was on the T side that they struggled in the last map as well. So, yeah, this could be good for them. They need the good start definitely to get rolling in this map.
This is Cache. We need to keep in mind, however, though,
that's true.
That's a map where you should still be able to keep yourself at a rather even scoreline around halftime there for the sides.
Yes.
So eventually, Epsilon still need to kick themselves into gear here. They can't just get run over. But of course, still sitting in the sequence of eco rounds and whatnot here at the beginning of the match, especially with that upset. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of this match here and of this specifically this half, as the investment comes in from Epsilon again with 5 AKs and Godsent having the same buy on the other side, 5 M4s. Flusha, though, a little bit low on utility, so we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, but we're also talking about two teams who have had so many problems on the T sides across a big number of maps. So Epsilon, of course, not like they're also to be affected by this. It's not only Godsent who has bad T sides on a map like this. Epsilon are also not as good as we probably want them to be on those T sides. So they need to step up, as you say. They need to get some rounds on the board and deliver that at least 6-9 or 8-7 half.
And Godsent actually going to be starting to push out into the B halls here. Freddy waits in the Sunroom to fight against them a little bit. But again, the mid is wide open with the exception of a Z player. They've got no one else to resist it. They found Freddy, though. He was kind of on his own. It was going to be a bit tough for him to get out of there. Calais, though, waits for the peek at Z. Punishes that. And keep in mind, they've only got one additional player here up on A. That's JW, though. And so far, he's been great at defending this site. He even whips out for the second one against Draken. Rez is still in Squeaky, but JW's putting an end to most of the aggression. Rez is going to be able to take down JW, but there's still a lot more fragging power to be found here. And as they move up, Lekro finds the headshot on the Rez, and Schneider takes down Kali before he can do anything back at mid.
So 4-1 now, Godsent looking quite good so far. But we have to remember also, if you look back at the stats, Godsent's T-side on this one is generally better than the T-sides on other maps. So we can actually expect a lot from Godsent coming into this second half. But right now they're looking good on the CT side. Let's see if they can bring that for the rest of the game. Epsilon, on the other hand, are forced into a pistol round, so they won't invest too much in this. Actually, Freddy B and Barber going down to 1250. That is a very low amount if they want to buy next round.
Overall here, the Epsilon players, again, focusing on one single site. That is going to be on B, but Godsent tossing out quite a few nades to make a menace of their health pools here. They're bringing it down low, and they already expected to roll into this site. They did in the last round, too. They've got so many players stacked here. Molotovs in their way. Pretty much everything stopping them here. This is going to be more likely a shutdown from Godsent. 1, 2, 3, 4 kills already. The last guy was the late player over here in mid to try and stop rotations out through the vents, and, well, obviously he's not going to do much. Barbar goes down, and it's a clean sweep round from Godsent.
Clean sweep indeed, and Godsent looking very, very good here on Cache. This is almost like looking at a different team. Of course, we're only 6 rounds in, so this is just in the first preface of the book, the first chapter, really. But we have to remember that Godsent also team, they have a 70% win rate here on Cache throughout the last 3 months against top teams. And that is actually quite nice compared to how badly, technically, Godsent have been playing in the last 3 months against these top teams.
Well, Epsilon again here, back up onto the buy round after that unfortunate mishap there on that eco, but moving up, the flashbang affecting both these guys at mid too. They try to toss some nades in, and while a hit on the Draken's the one that got the first kill on a Schneider. So certainly not the even trade they were looking for, as Epsilon will have the edge here. Godsent, though, still having 2 players in mid, waiting for a push in this direction, so finally they're actually starting to actively try and prevent them from getting control here.
Yeah, and it's a very important thing here in the E-Cache to have that mid control. And you see Godsent usually when they play mid, they usually like to have Flusha way up in the aggressive point and then have an AWP they can rotate to either car A or to CT spawn in B and then rotate him back and forth. If Flusha dies, he can rotate to mid and hold that because they get the information way early. But this is not the way that they're deciding to play it right now, definitely. Flusha's taking a much more relaxed position down behind the sandbags, and I'm looking forward to see how it's going to work out, because he won't get as quick information.
Barbar proceeds forward here now to look for the first real kill, but down below Sandbags, they haven't spotted it yet. But Draken is allowed to dip right in there and get a kill. We see the response coming from Flusha, and Lekro as well takes down Barbar up on top before he can eliminate it. Flawless play from Godsent out in mid there, and they may have just killed this round unless Rez can bring it back here with the hit on A. He has to back up, but Lekro again shutting out Rez. Leaves only these two in A main up and running.
Lekro with an amazing shot right there. That was so important that he got the second frag, because if he didn't get that frag, then a half second later, the terrorist would have been dropped down and killed the guy behind Sandbags, which is Flusha. And Flusha will go down now though.
Freddy B tapping away there, but Pronax sitting here behind the shed response. Freddy B needs to get this bomb onto the ground. He's found the kill on the site. Pronax, if he's going to go for this, he's got to do it now. The Molotov is a bit too far into the back. It still is going to push him out, but the flashbang from Freddy lets him go freely into the open to get the kill on the Pronax. And Epsilon steal away around.
And the one that we talked about most on the first map was Pronax getting back into the game. He's done that so far, but Freddy also didn't play that well on the first map. Now he's back with that clutch. He's edging his name in towards this game, and it's 5-2 now. Epsilon, bring it back with another round.
So that is going to be a huge comeback on that round, of course, after the crushing play that was made against Epsilon in mid to still bring it back from the brink there. Good stuff indeed. And now Epsilon themselves with the kind of advantage here. Unfortunately, the economy is still a problem, as we can see. The SMGs on Draken and Kale kind of bring symptoms to this one, with Godsent having, or being able, I should say, to secure their lead with some pretty shut down rounds against Epsilon there. They still have like a double op setup. Everybody's still got rifles and everything, so some work still to be done here before Epsilon are able to take control of this map here.
So here we go. Round number 8 in map number 2 in this pretty much battle for who gets the secondary spot at the major qualifier for the European region. We already know that Hellraiser's got the first one, and they are waiting in the final of this minor to play for the $50,000 prize pool. But this is, to be honest, this is almost a tad more even amazing, because one team here will go home with almost nothing and no spot. The other team will go to the final with a spot in the major qualifier, and that is what everyone is playing for here.
Resonator hanging back now, waiting for JW to go right into his web. It takes him down, and not only this too, but they stop paying attention to mid, so Barbar pushing in, Flush and Lekro both get knocked out. And leaving only Schneider and Pronax on the B-bomb. Say, the round's already Epsilon's. There's no way Schneider and Pronax are going to pull off the 2v5.
But they're playing it so carefully. That's what I really love about Epsilon. They're 5 against 2. Calais still puts down that smoke, wait until it blooms, and then jumps in because he does not want to risk anything. When they know they have a round like this that can be upset, if Godsent are lucky, if they make a mistake, they make sure that no mistakes are made, and they don't leave it up to luck to win it. Epsilon, well-rounded and intelligent play from them. Pronax and Snyder remain, trying to save their weapons, but Epsilon are on the hunt.
So Epsilon themselves, of course, boxing these last two in. They've got them isolated to the site. The problem is the last time they went hunting for one of these guys, it didn't go so well. It seems this time things are going better. Schneider, though, the quickscope on the Barbar after taking down Freddy. And all of a sudden, they're not too confident in their ability, but finally Rez gets the swipe kill on Schneider. Takes him down, and Epsilon will find their third round as well, of course.
And now we do see Godsent in a tough situation. One player who could buy, the rest of the team not able to, so this is going to be a pistol round for them. Probably going to be Deagle armor on one of them, and then maybe P250s and stuff like that for the rest. Featured matchup, of course, JW versus Draken, the two AWP players. JW is leading there, 10-6 is his scoreline. Draken has not really woken up yet, but that can, of course, still happen throughout this half.
Just need another just boss play from Barbar, and apparently that's what activates him.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, if that had hit.
That could have been sick. So close to hitting that shot onto Flusha. And he's
Second
just going
one
for
now.
it. He's just
What is
going
this?
for it. He's not hitting it, but Draken, he has a
Come on, one of
sixth
these.
sense.
Got
One of these. Oh, okay.
Lekro, no, it's Lekro that keeps hitting him, unfortunately, from the white box. I think he's just getting the spot on doing there. But no,
That's
Lekro
perfect from Lekro.
plays it forward, gets the kill.
He doesn't lose a single HP.
And then he goes back up highway and wrecks Rez, too. Finally, Draken gets that kill onto Flusha. There's actually going to be another player peeking, which may catch him off, but he's able to kind of navigate a little bit over here to the left. So still alright for Epsilon here, but this is looking like another upset round for Godsent. Yeah. Pronax finding Draken there with a lined up Deagle shot. Calais, though, sneaky. trying to look for a way to get himself into the A site, but not really feeling it. And Freddy, of course, coming in on this flank too, or trying to work his way up forward in outside of mid, checking for flanks from the backside, but just not really able to find anything. Godsent remaining as quiet as possible here, so as not to give up their already huge opportunity to grab a 6th away from Epsilon on was basically a full eco.
Now, Freddy and Callie has to work together. I like the fact that Callie throws down the smoke and still stays somehow, and forcing that rotation from Lekro. I think that is. He was pushed over towards B, but he's now in CT spawn. So if Freddy just walks in and gets a kill onto Pronax, and his teammate arrives just in time, they'll have this side, and they'll be able to isolate the AK. And there it is. Isolation happens, but they have to kill Pronax as well. That happens also. So now it's all on JW with 18 HP and an AK, and Snyder, who has an AWP, but they might just... Oh, this is gonna be tough for them, because the save could be coming in, but they are going forward. Calais is in the correct position, and now it's gonna be tough for Snyder. 1v2. He knows Calais is close by, and he's gonna go for it. The balls of this man.
He didn't see him. He didn't even see Callie in the corner there,
Nope.
so he messes that up big time. Now he's stuck here, and he's gonna have to try to work with something here. But yeah, Callie eventually runs out with the Glock and finishes things off there. There's Epsilon with the 4th. They do end up closing it up, but again, considering the light buy from Godsent, still not bad of a round there to do some damage and force quite a few rebuys.
One thing that I have to say, like, no matter how this tournament ends for Godsent, they can be happy about the switch in form of Lekro joining the team, because Lekro has been the one playing very consistently and very well for Godsent. It's been up to some of the more normal players on Godsent to go up and down all the time. Lekro has been consistent in his fragging ability throughout this entire tournament, in my opinion.
So, Snyder, unfortunately, may have actually seen that last guy and have sort of just tried to get the guy in the back first so as to increase the easiness of the 1v2, but regardless, again, the round still goes by the way of the players from Godsent. They'll take control. Lekro, however, starting off this round, and they're going to try to go all forward here into the A-bomb site, but Lekro again showing up when needed for Godsent, finding both Barbar and Calais. Draken has picked up his first kill on the round here now, hunting for more players that could be hiding out from behind it, but there's Lekro with another one. Takes down Rez this time, and the hit for the most part is now dead from Epsilon.
Yeah, Lekro is just proving why he is a top-level player in the world right now. He's just taking duels and winning them all the time. Draken trying his luck sometimes between or through these walls, but not really finding much apart from that open frag onto JW, which took him down to 10 HP. Freddy B, of course, here, with the bomb in front of him, has to work out an entry. If they don't get the entry onto this A-bomb site, they have to rotate all the way to B, and that seems to be the plan right now. And, well, if they are quick about the rotation and don't make any noise, they might be able to catch the CTs off guard, because they are currently 2 stacked in CT spawn towards mid. So, well, okay, they're just waiting. This is going to be the double fake.
They've got most of them off the site. Lekro is the big player here. He's actually got a possible ace in front of him, though. And there's one. One more to go, and it's Draken, and he's very low. Lekro, they have just dominated this round. 20 seconds on the clock, too, but oh, no, flush up. That's a bit mean.
Still a big round from Lekro, to be honest. So good to see him just stepping up consistently for Godsent. And consistency is the most important word in that sentence, because Godsent have been very, very inconsistent with their fragging abilities. Sometimes Pronax is doing well, sometimes he's doing terrible. Same with JW. Flusher and Lekro are the only two who seems to have some kind of consistency within their fragging ability, and they don't just rely on feeling the game and feeling the confidence in order to frag.
So with that, Epsilon go right back down onto saving here now, and it's not going to be that great of an eco round, unfortunately, from Epsilon, as we can see. Draken not buying anything, he's working with a Glock, and Flusha holding an aggressive spot. They've got the Barbar possibly jumping over here, but if they go directly for this A hit, Lekro, he'll be sitting back here and waiting, and JW with a nice shot onto Barbar there. I think finding him through some of the terrain of the boost to take him down. Lekro, they haven't even seen him yet. Look at him playing these mind games. Good response from Callie, granted, but stops the defuse. They know for sure it's coming into this bomb site, so they can throw that Molotov over top. That's an unfortunate Molotov, as it doesn't actually spread in time. So Rez will still get the plant. They'll actually take about half the damage from the Molotov, but regardless now, Godsent ready to retake. Freddy even away from the bomb site, too, to watch for flanks.
And he's going to flank himself, I think. It's basically up to Rez and Calais. Well, okay, then he gets down. So now it's all on Rez now. Wasn't
watching well enough, it seems. So he gets taken down, and Rez here going to try to hold. There's one pick up for him, but he cannot find any more than that. Pronax will trade it down, and Godsent will get their 7th round as we head into some of the closing rounds of the half here. Not a lot of room left for Epsilon to battle back.
Definitely not. Round number 12 out of 15 coming in now, and if we look at Epsilon, they will have money to buy in this one, so no worries in that direction. On the side of Godsent, we do see the double AWP setup, so there will be enough money to buy, well, pretty much everything they need.
Guys from Godsent here now. Back to a double op setup. Schneider and JW having it to work with here. And for Epsilon, again, they've been failing to really find their sort of initiation to get into these sites, whether that's entry power or just not really utilizing utility properly here. They've run into a bit of a snag with that. Not only this too, but it's affecting it across the map globally here. Godsent are kind of being allowed to toy with them a little bit, and no trade back and forth there. JW just missing a shot. These are so close.
Yeah.
So many whiffs with the wall banks here, but they're so they're just inches away from potentially being hits, and it's making me a bit scared for the one where it finally happens.
Let's see here. Godsent 74. Epsilon trying to do the setup towards A right now. They have one player in main, one player in door. The rest just lacking behind. With 2 smokes and 2 molars remaining, that could be the push. Coming in for them. Smoke's definitely going to drop anytime soon when they're going to start this retake. And when those smokes drop, the CTs will have to do a quick rotation. But look at that. JW sensing that something is going on. And oh, okay. Barbar goes down to Flusher. But that forces Flusher to rotate to B because Barbar went into the vent. And that is the ruse.
Now they're all going to be flushing into A. Rez, oh my god, the flick on Electro kills him with that Molotov. Ooh, just barely able to get out of it. 1 HP left for himself here. And now, as we see more of them pushing in, JW is going to look to finalize these kills. Takes down Rez, but that was the easy one. Moving up to the site, he's got one right in front of him. And Flusha as well chimed in to take down Draken a little bit further away. So Godsent with actually probably one of their fastest retakes yet here.
Yeah.
They pick up an 8th. Epsilon never even really got a chance to secure themselves, unfortunately, even though the plan worked and they baited out an extra player to B.
Once again, JW just comes in and saves his team. That was an absolute insane retake, comparing the fact that he has an AWP and he's taking close range duel or medium to close range duels, where the AK usually is way better, but JW just doesn't care. Just takes frags left, right, and center and sends Godsent on an 8-4 lead and forces Epsilon on a pistol round.
Epsilon themselves here, sending their players much more directly over here towards the B-bomb site, but obviously keeping some of them in the back to act as a late push. Godsent, though, are expecting this. They've got the read on Epsilon. They know how they tend to play the game, and this aligns with some of the previous rounds we've seen from them on Ecos. Just trying to flush in to the B-bomb site, trying to get as quick of control as possible, so they've got plenty of guys here waiting for it, but that doesn't mean they're going to be able to hold it necessarily. They've kept very little players actually on the site. Pronax is sitting behind the box and checkers. They'll get up onto the platform. Pronax waiting for more of them here, but Draken, what? Draken almost taken down from outside and mid, but then decides to fully commit. Takes down Pronax. We do see, however, JW finding Rez peeking out there, and he almost gets a glimpse of the Opper to Freddy for the back. Draken lurking in, though, with 7 HP. Takes down Lekro. 2 more left alive, and they're both coming from the direction of CT spawn here, so they can focus entirely on that. However, they still have to keep players mindful of the flanks, and that's going to be Draka, but he's the lowest health at this point. When are Godsent going to actually make their move, if they actually decide to go for it? They both work their way down. Flusha creeping in all honesty, they're bringing the time down very low. They're going to try to grab them on their way out, and this is working. They're sneaking into the bomb site. They're being cut off, however, by Kala. He's picked up that kill, and that's going to kill their potential retake. So Epsilon, they managed to pull it off on a Tech 9 armor round to find a 5th.
That was a good round by Epsilon, and once again they do this, the great thing of taking a bomb site together really quickly though, and sometimes this can be a gamble. If the CTs are ready for it, you're most likely going to get wrecked, but they get the first player into the bomb site, taking out the CT player instantly with, of course, you do usually see the Tech 9 headshot coming in very quickly. With that frag going in, they get the bomb down and take post-plant position, and the post-plant position in question here, or not in question, but the post-plant position played extremely well here is Kali, and Kali technically wins that round with that last second kill, and that times out everything, and JW is forced to save.
Epsilon bringing it back towards the end here, and Godsent, with their players still spread here, playing mainly towards mid, does lend some questions in terms of if they'll be able to counter out Epsilon if they decide to go all in towards these sites. They've been adjusting towards that strat more, but Barbar, look at him sneaking in. He's found Schneider. He's got him just out of a corner there, and he's got that kill. He also knows where the second guy is at White Box. The Molly's going to keep him in the open, but the spray is just off the mark. Can't find that last bullet there. Commits a little bit too heavily to it. He brings Flusha down to 16 HP.
So Drake now rotating with the bomb on his back. Kali just trying to make sure that no one peeks him and gets any information in the middle. before they want to push out there. And Calais goes out. Draken, of course, holding wide box with his AWP, allowing his teammate to get into the vent area. Pronax right now in a very difficult situation. And there goes the fake on towards the A-bomb side. And that's a perfect fake with 2 kills and leaving just Flusher remaining. And the bomb plan, of course, with that fake will be going towards B.
Flusha moving up now, and he's going to try to sneak his way in. Oh!
DE9.
I was worried for a moment there that he'd be able to drop down and kind of wreck them both, but they check it, they spot him, and they take him down. So the 6 comes in for Epsilon, and the last buy of the half from Godsent is really not going to be that significant. As we take a look at it, there's an SMG for Pronax, another one for JW, and then a Deagle, a CZ for Lekro and Flusha, and the 1 rifle sits on Schneider.
Yeah, and that's not even an M4, that's a FAMAS as well, with no utility behind it and not even head armor. But technically he's playing against AK, so head armor isn't really that important. But still, the lack of utility is quite important in my opinion. Nice shot from Draken.
Right in there to find Pronax. Already the first kill of the round for them. But Godsent maybe trying to be a little bit cheeky here. They want to try to boost them up. They get mollied out though, so again, denied.
So, Snyder playing in close range with the FAMAS. Freddy B trying to go out and challenge him. Who will win? It's going to be Freddy. And Resonator, PKRS picking up one as well. But Flusher going in close range with his CZ75, but he's going to get caught while reloading. It goes down to Calais. And now it's all on Lekro. And this is going to be an 8-7 half. So 1 round lead to Godsent, surely. But that's going to be all, of course, unless Lekro can clutch this one 1v4. He's going to try.
He's got the lineup for it, but the shots just aren't hitting now. Molly's going back. That kills that angle, and he's got Draken slowly working on the flank, as you can see in the background there too. He'll shift himself out towards Z here, working his way up highway. And oh, there's a shot, finding one, but Rez puts an end to it. And Epsilon, they brought it back there. It was looking like Godsent were going to pull an Epsilon and hold control of things on the safety side there in the first half, like they did back over on Mirage. That's in the past. Now though, in Epsilon at the very end of things, they do manage to forge their way back into it, and we get as close of a half as we could have expected. Now 8-7 will be the score line.
One of the things that I've written down in my notes about Godsent is that compared to their weakness in general on CT sides, on T sides, is that they actually have a quite good T side on cash. And with all the demos and VODs and statistics I've looked over, I'm really looking forward to see if they can bring that same game on this T side, because this is probably one of the most important T sides they've played in their career so far as Godsent. Of course, we have major victories and stuff like that on some of the players, but in this team with this lineup, this is the most important T side on cash. If they take it home, then they go to map 3. If they fail it, they are out of the minor without a spot in the major qualifier. Needless
to mention, that risk is there. The potential for them to now get knocked out on the first of 2 land steps on your way back to the major.
Yeah.
Fnatic just stole it from them a week ago, and now they've got to earn it, but it may not be plausible here on this major run, as Epsilon are looking good, but they still hold the lead. And if they can take this pistol, they'll be able to go on the path to taking this second map. Godsent, they all go into A main here, but it's been spotted, and they realized that a little bit too late. They all go inside, and they were thinking about falling back and making the noise even to do that, just to kind of throw off the guys from Epsilon a little bit there, but Epsilon not really having reacted to this at all. They're still kind of stuck in their same basic pattern to set up here. Barbar can even evacuate right now if he doesn't want to try and hold it, but they're actively going to defend it here. Moving forward to it, Godsent will flood back out. Draken wrapping in. He gets 1 kill and even lights up Pronax to the backside. Unfortunately, he's the only one netting kills at the moment for Epsilon. Schneider, Pronax rip everyone else to shreds. And it's down to just Rez and Freddy after they do take out Draken.
So here we go. Rez and Freddy trying to retake this bomb side. Great frags coming in from pretty much everyone on that Godsent team so far. Schneider, Pronax, and Lekro all getting one. Lekro just going on the aggressive for this one and trying to lock it down. He will lock it down, and Lekro once again is the man to watch for Godsent, the new guy, and he's just wrecking everyone.
That will give them control of the pistol here, but we've seen, I don't know, how many times has it been now that we've had a second round pistol upset? It's happened at least 2 times. I don't know if if it happened both times on the first map, but I know it happened in the second half on the first map. It happened on the first half here.
And it's something we see a lot in general as well, not just at the
more and more recently too. I've noticed it's like happening more and more commonly. So.
Yeah, and the power of pistols is not to be dismissed here in CS:GO, and that's for sure.
Pistols are balanced, but Freddy moving out. There's one for him. And the player behind them, Boxy or Resonator, is going to find one. Lights up another one. Unfortunately, doesn't get the kill. Electro is going to find that trade there, but it goes in with 3v3. Now Kali rotating in with the 5-7. Lights up. Schneider taking him down. 2 up and running here for Godsent. And Draken wanted to roll out, but the smoke's in the way. Along with that Molotov, he's going to hold. He's going to wait. He's going to restrain himself. Him, Barbar, and Kali are all ready to go back into this site. But they need to kind of wait themselves out a little bit here, so that they don't rush into their own deaths if Godsent were expecting it. Lekr in the backside. He's in the open, but he's still able to pick up some kills here. One for himself against Barbar, but Kali responding again. Last one's on the site, but he's got an SMG. The first pickup there against Kali. Draken's the last one standing here, and it's a tough angle to beat. So Flusha is going to close out, and Godsent win the second round.
Great job by Flusha. And once again, we see, if you want anyone from that Godsent team in a 1v2 or 1v3 clutch, it's going to be Flusha. His statistics in 1v2s is absolutely phenomenal. And let's see here, what goes on in the mind of Barbar? What is he saying to his teammates? What kind of strats will they be executing to bring home this map for Epsilon?
But we do have to see Epsilon now going on to their save, of course, so not anything crazy being expected out of this round. And again, you can see Flusha very controlled, knows how to play that one out, despite the situation that was in front of them there. That almost went the other way. Freddy, though, sneaking out a kill, and also almost getting a second one there.
Yeah, I think he knows the bomb is down as well.
Schneider, though, has that position up on top, and it's not really viable for Epsilon to challenge this directly in the open, so the guys from Godsent will take things back down to reality a step here. Try to close out this round without too much extra conflict. B-site's wide open, so that's probably their most straightforward path, and Epsilon cannot really get back to it currently. So as they head towards it, so long as they get onto that site without too much delay, I imagine that this will be the 11th for them.
Yeah, definitely. 11 rounds coming in for Godsent, surely, unless Freddy B and the boys can get some lucky shots in, but with the bomb being planted and the terrorists being in defensive post-plant position, I don't see any way that the CTs can come in and get anything done here, to be honest. Like, there's just no chance, unless they get the peek onto JW, who's on 2 HP, then they might have a chance, but apart from that, it's not going to happen.
Shots coming through onto Draken there, but not hitting. You can see Draken himself here hunting, waiting for that smoke to fade. Freddy B too. They're lined up to find quite a few of them actually. Electro down at 79 HP. You've got Resonator down at 32. He's going to wrap himself in the other direction here. Finds JW, who was at 2 HP for so long, so it was only inevitable if he stayed on his lonesome there that he would get taken out. The SMG Rez is just going to be happy with cooking that, though. He's actually not going to head back into the site. We see Lekro getting one of the final kills here. He's also got Draken down low. He's got to finish the job there, so he takes him down. But Rez, he can actually still do some damage onto these guys if he chases them away. One of them goes down to the explosion. There's 2 more out in the open. Oh, the spray. It misses, and he's just going to choose to actually save the SMG.
Yeah, so they're going to run into a round where they have 4 decent weapons and then 1 SMG as well. But as we know, the SMG, the UMP-45, has good armor penetration. It has a high fire rate, so in close range situations, especially accompanied by a pop flash by your teammate, that weapon can do tons of damage.
Like her, as you can see, the moment being the heavyweight hitter here for Godsent. It was a little bit more quiet on that last map there, but they needed someone to step up and be the hero here. And at the moment, it's been him providing some really great stuff in the first half.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. And Electro, of course, being the new man in the team, keep talking about it, but it is very important for this new guy to get a great start in his legacy here in Godsent. Of course, a team with other legendary players, and double Molotov coming in towards his side. Barbar and his teammate just try to hold it down.
The rest of Godsent here. Again, all their players stuck over in A main currently. They're prepared to execute, but there's the op from Draken. He's able to move in, finds Pronax, and there's nothing else to restrict him currently. No smokes or anything. They actually don't even have any smokes. I just looked at this and realized it too.
Yeah.
If they hadn't, they've already utilized them, so it's all going to be on flashbangs and whatnot. And with the op presence there, and them not really having anything besides flashbangs to challenge it, they are going to try to put a heavier emphasis on mid as they fall back over there to boost up at least one of their players. 2 actually, currently Schneider, along with the opper.
Yeah, it's great that they finally, on the CT side, they kind of ignored mid. On the T side, they have to take advantage of taking mid control, and it looks like they want to do it so far into the round. Snyder's right now just standing a bit defensively, just holding down the vent, waiting for well, the final call and the final timing from his teammate, but they have to go soon. There's only 28 seconds remaining in the round, so this could be cutting it quite close.
Godsent move in here now. There's not going to be anybody restricting them on highway. Epsilon are remaining very quiet across the map here, giving them that control. And now they're going to try to let them in, but Draken again says no to that one. Finally, the smoke tossed out here. One of the few that they did have actually to work with, but they've only got 8 seconds to get the bomb down. Cali waiting for it. It's going to the ground. 5 seconds. There's no way that this is going to happen. They try to retreat, but Epsilon says absolutely no, you're not even getting away. They shut it down. They get their 8th round, and with that one, destroy all of Godsent.
Yeah, and get the double up set up as well, get good economy, survive for 5 players. Everything is looking great for Epsilon, despite the fact that they are 3 rounds behind, but surely they can get those 3 rounds, at least some of them now, because they have the confidence, they have the economy, and they have the individual skill and the team play.
And immediately Godsent too. Back onto the eco here. Schneider and Pronex, the Deagles to work with. Lecker not buying anything, just sticking with the Glock here and the P250s for JW, and that last Deagle too for Flush Up. You see them just sitting back again, and actually trying to look for the usual aggressive pushes that a CT team would make here, but just like on the last map here, and to a similar degree like Godsent, they're not really too keen on that one. Beyond maybe 1 or 2 of their guys using smoke angles, and they're not really going to be pushing forward. They're just going to play to the safe angles and try to close this one out without too much additional needed conflict. Draken already finding that first kill there. Missing the flick on a JW, but he knows his intentions. However, unfortunately, JW does not oblige to that. He ends up just falling back to regroup with the squad.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about Epsilon. They play intelligent, safe CS. They don't want to take any chances. They know they're up against a team of individually skilled players, so they just stand back and hold the angles, using the smokes and just, in general, the defensive angles against Godsent, not allowing them to give themselves the chance to get back into the round, because they're on an eco. They're going to have to be extremely lucky, or Epsilon's going to have to make a mistake for them to get this round.
Epsilon waiting for it now, and again, right into the crosshairs of Draken, who's been actually really on point so far with his A-side defense on kind of these eco rounds. Flashbang over on the top side, and then the follow-up kill on a JW again. It's looking like clockwork for Draken here. Flusha waiting to peek too, but Barbar's waiting for that one, and he's got the other one around the other side. Oh, Pronex denies, but yeah, there's Draken once more chiming in with a 4th kill for this round. Good hold from him, and he defends the site for Epsilon.
Yeah, Draken really, well, finally showing up, to be honest, because in the first map he was not really that active. In the last 2 or 3 rounds, due to that hero play from Barbar, he got turned on, and now he's here as well. He's 16-14 right now, but his AWP frags have been on point every single time he's had that weapon. Most of his death has been in positions where he wasn't equipped with the AWP, and as a main AWP, of course, you need that weapon as most, I forgot how to Englando there. You take over.
It's all good. It's all good. So Godsent, we're going to see their players go into A main again here, and it's looking like a very sort of bland and direct style of play still that, you know, we've been seeing from Godsent all day. That, as I mentioned in the last map, this is where Epsilon are easily able to get the read onto it here. Molotov's out. All of that, in all honesty, is to handle Cali, as we've seen here, the forklift position that Lecker was so good at in the first half, and of course Draken back in quad. Those 2 singular focuses, it has the bonus effect of pushing Draken into the open, so when they push up to mid, JD is going to be able to get that kill. Flusha handles the 2nd position there, taking out Cali, and with the knockout of Barbar, I believe this round's already over. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best, and for Godsent there, just pushing into the bomb site and having that one guy flank around out towards mid works out for them, so they will maintain their lead and get a 12th.
Yeah, that's great for Godsent. Res and Freddy, of course, trying to save their weapons, but Godsent actually going quite aggressive here. We do have, I think that's Snyder in that connector, just trying to get the frag down. He's waiting for his teammate Pronax so that they can try and take this this weapon on Resonator together. But, oh, now a 3rd man coming in as well. So they want to wait and get the frag, and they do. Patience is rewarded. And Freddy B now, patient as ever. Just waiting for someone to cross his way, but they're not going to do that. He's going to be able to save his AWP. But Godsent will get around number 12 in the bank. But look at that money. It's quite alright for Epsilon. They can still buy.
We will still see the investments remain pretty strong here. Barber's a bit low though, so I think they're going to have to give him a little bit of charity there. Still after that one, he's got enough for like his armor and utility and everything like that. This is actually probably gonna be the last one though, unless they really want to force into it, which they may choose to do considering the current scoreline. Godsent getting this one. I mean, here's the thing: Godsent has remained consistent on their T side here. In addition to picking up those first couple of rounds without getting immediately traded out there, it lets them hold a comfortable position, and if they can just trade rounds back and forth again, eventually they'll still win the game. Rez waiting now as the surprise secondary up comes in for Epsilon this time. It's all been with Draken over in quad, but suddenly the game has changed. And Rez has one too back in checkers.
Great opening frag from Rez, and what I really like about him is he takes the frag and then he rotates back to a way more defensive position, and that is the difference between smart players and good players, because the smart player will get the first frag and then rotate back and get even more. The good player will sometimes get the first frag and then spur on and try to take even more frags, but then eventually dying off to taking an angle he probably shouldn't be taken. So really like the play from Rez, who is both a good player and actually a smart player. So one of my easily favorites throughout this tournament is Rez, definitely. His playing style is also very, very, very fun to watch.
Godsent again with the 3-man stack now over here towards B. They're prepared to move in towards it, but the defense is already here from Godsent. Apologies from Epsilon. There's a full 2-man commitment here. The second moving out, though, there's been some attention drawn to mid for some reason, so it's all been left to Rez again to defend it. He's been good with this op previously, and in this position, too, they've challenged him before. Nades going in, but they don't cover off the site at all. Rez, it's a free kill for him on a Pronex. Nobody's even paying attention to that. They get some damage responding, but Calais spraying back in. He's also going to find Schneider. Flusha takes out Draken, but that's irrelevant. Freddy in the site, finding Lekro here. Flusha with a 1-tap against Barbar. He's still got a chance, but he's lost the bomb. There's only 10 seconds left on the clock. It's over. He'll find an op to save, of course, but the round is still Epsilon's.
Really, really nice hold on that B bomb site from Epsilon. Of course, started by Rez getting that first one, and then rotating back to the position, getting that second one, and letting his team take care of the rest as the terrorists push in towards the bomb site. Great hold. Flusha will survive with the AWP, and they will be able to buy up into this one again. So Epsilon not going to have an easy time, despite them winning that.
Yes, it will still remain a contest now, but the Epsilon players want to try and close out this map here. They want to crush Godsent now, and they're on the brink of doing so, economically speaking anyway. JW still with the op, and this is their last real big buy. The CT's also still kind of on the brink as they've just started to reestablish themselves, of course. Now Godsent again with the A main play, going right back to that B hit didn't work, but hold on, Schneider moving in, counters out both of the aggressive CTs. That's Draken and Rez, and that should shift their priorities immediately. Not only that, but JDB just got Kali. Epsilon, every time they try to go aggressive on CT side, it's very, very dodgy, and again, when they try it, losing 3 players in the first 30 seconds of the round, it's going to work out terribly for them, and Godsent almost have a free walkout in front of them now.
Yeah, they can just choose wherever they want to go, because whatever bomb site they'll hit, they'll be 5 against 1. So unless Freddy comes out with the most incredible play we've ever seen, they're going to get that bomb site for free. And he's actually just going to play the lurk role here.
Barbar's been contested though, back over in A main, and they finally find Freddy. Barbar way over in A. It was looking like it could have built up to something there as they weren't checking it initially, but someone does. That's what's important.
Yeah, messed up his spray and did not even get a single frag there. Barbar will try to save here with 33 HP. It's probably not going to happen. Lekro pushing in now, and he does have one in that door area, and Lekro just shuts him down. So that's going to be another round for Godsent, 13-10. 3 rounds away from sending us into map 3 here in this game. A game about the major qualification spot.
Cobblestone, it will be on that 3rd map, and a tactical pause now coming in for Epsilon here. Needing to take a moment to figure out how they can still... Obviously, thoughts for these guys, of course, still completely on this map. There's still a very good chance that they can actually just still shut this one down here. It's very fidgety for both teams, but they really only have 1 or 2 more chances, so the next round from them has to be flawless for the CT side. They cannot continue to run out aggressively and into these Godsent players, as they always hold back for that 30 to 40 seconds or so before they start to build up for their hit. And that is where Epsilon are going to find themselves 9 times out of 10, I feel, dead on the ground if they try to push out from the sites, look for those kills.
Definitely. So the tactical pause now over. We did see Barbar exchanging some words with the team coach, of course, Krille, the guy behind Epsilon. So they're probably talking about, okay, what do we need to fix and how do we fix it going into the last, potentially, 6 rounds of this half.
Well, Epsilon now spreading 3-2, or actually apologies, 3-1-1 across the map here. But with the full eco in check, Godsent, of course, will still take things about their normal pace, since there was actually enough money, I think, on about 2 or 3 of the players for Epsilon 2-4 that they wanted to. They've gone aggressively into Squeaky there, pushed back out, however. The nade hits Barbar pretty heavily, sending them away from that site, and I mean, the rest of them obviously just on Godsent, this is just sitting back and kind of waiting for things to dissipate a bit. And then it looks like they're eventually going to move in to execute on A. Problem being, Epsilon themselves think it's going to be going to B, as we can see the big rotate there. Can still try to play for retake, but with these types of guns, it's probably going to be impossible.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let's just say it like it is, to be honest. Godsent will get this one pretty much for free. Just roll out a welcome mat, wrap it up in a nice little present, and just present them the bomb site. Just give it to them. No worries. Godsent will, by this, then be on 14-10, so only 2 rounds away from sending us a cobblestone.
Yeah, like I said, just that one more real chance for Epsilon to try and stop this map from going into the control of Godsent, I feel, unless there is an eco upset for us to still find here. Draken moving himself in here, just trying to tap away. Yeah, I got like 9 damage on Pronex, but that's it, so not crowding anything. And ooh, Schneider even being sneaky there. Looking for these guys wrapping out to line up for exits. And now it's a shooting gallery. Pronex jumping up on top of the big red box, finds Freddy. Taking him down, more of them on upper there. There's Schneider with 1 for himself, finds the kill onto Rez. Draken and Kali are the last 2, and oh, Schneider taking a moment there, but he does get the headshot on the Draken, and the final one too. A nice 4K on the round from Schneider.
Great job by Godsent now, sending themselves into a position where they can potentially close out this map with, well, technically 6 rounds if they take these last 2. But then again, we have this last hurrah for Epsilon incoming. Their last chance with full buy to do something against this Godsent lineup and play their chance here in the second map. Play their chance of getting the 2-0 as well before, well, they put themselves in a situation where they're going to be forced basically into cobblestone.
We're going to see Godsent take all of their players again, just right into A main. Epsilon have bitten hard on a B hit though initially. 3 guys fully committed, again aggressive from Rez. There's no one out here this time from the Godsent rosters. They don't have to worry about losing guys, but what they are going to have to worry about is rotationary speed. Someone's got to figure out that this is going to be more than likely an A hit very quickly, otherwise they're going to be boxed out and forced to save before they even have a chance to negate this here. Yeah. Unless Kali or Barbar just go off, and Barbar just left the site too! At least he's countering out mid-pressure, but still, this is all on Kali now. You don't have Draken with the op in sight anymore, none of this.
Yeah, this is not looking good at all with the 2 Molotovs and the smokes and the flashbangs going there. Surely they have to know this is going to be an A hit. JW in middle as well is going to catch Barbar, and that is the beginning of the end of this round, I think. Unless Kali can pull up the hero plays. No! Flusher drops down from heaven and kills him.
And now the final 3, as I mentioned before, there's nothing they can do. They've got to fall back and save. Already retreating over here into the B halls like Sunroom and whatnot to try and fall back out and save these guns for one final attempt to make the run to OT. Godsent, though, capitalize on a big misread from Epsilon there, as they thought for sure it was going to work its way over to the B-bombs. It's so much that they send 3 players, not even like having one of them in Z out towards mid, and 3 players in the bomb site itself, waiting for that hit, and it just never comes. It works its way directly into A. Freddy B at the very least moving out here, going to be able to rack up a couple kills, but unless they're able to upset here on the next one, then these are going to not really matter all that much.
So, Rez, Freddy B, and Draken is looking to save their weapons. Will they be allowed? It looks like it's so far. Maybe Freddy B might be in trouble. Oh, he gets one and oh, no knife!
Up. Just a little reminder of what could be lurking around the corner, I suppose.
Okay, so here we go. Round number 26 could be the last one as Godsent on 15 rounds, 1 round away from map point. Oh, they are on map point, 1 round away from a map win, which can send them into our 3rd map, which will be Cobblestone. We pretty much all agreed, apart from Vendetta, on this was going to be a 2-1. So, our dreams may come true. A 3-mapper between these 2 giants of Swedish CS. Let's see if that's going to happen.
It's been working for them on Godsent, so no reason to change it. Everybody into A main right at the beginning with the exception of Schneider. He's going to lurk into B and actually play around with them a little bit in there. Imagine he'll start first. We can see it now, going in towards checkers there, but the rest are out into A main. Kali, though, along with Draken, find those 2 kills. That was the big key mistake of that last round, was sending Draken to the B-bombs, and he's here now. In theory, you know, worst comes to worst, he can solo defend that and pick up at least a few kills, but Flusha back out there, finds Kali, takes him down, and Draken, hey, what do you know, he's back again with another pickup. The bomb is down on the site, too. JW would have to be able to move in, probably kill at least Draken to be able to get that. But Schneider, here's where that B-lurk comes in. He's found Rez. It's turning itself around now, but JW can't get away into the site. So as long as Epsilon can set up a fortress here and stop Schneider and JW from finding a way back in, they can still pick up an 11th here.
So, 55 seconds to go. Surely these 2 players want to try and get this bomb together. They want to group up and do a 2-man tag team, and then hopefully get something done. Oh, that grenade! Oh, just misses him. And now Barbar is in a great position.
He's going to pop out there, gets the 1 kill. JW trades, but it's so far gone now. JW himself at such a low amount of HP, and yet even he doesn't feel he can do this now. Wrapping back outside, he's going to save. He may actually dip into, we'll see in a second here. Is he gonna, yeah, he's probably going to dip back over here on the highway to see if he can find someone like in the open, but they've actually suspected that. That's a perfect flashbang.
Yeah, let's see here. JW trying to find Some players here as exits and
No,
okay.
no.
Okay.
He's got 10 seconds to make this happen if he goes for it. He's found a rifle on the ground. And he's going to move up towards it here, too.
There has to be no time.
Creeping up so close. Get damage, and there's the first one. 1 second on the clock, though, and Freddy just freezes. And time expires, and Freddy gets the kill after the time expires. So that ends up being a huge misplay from JW.
Very close, to be honest, to getting that one. But as you say, the time runs out before he dies. That means no money for him. And the dream is still alive for Epsilon. The 2-0 dream is still alive for them.
So he'll go down. And with that, now we go into a very interesting round, of course. They are able to donate the AWP over to JW to make up for that mistake there previously. Still sitting on enough cash, as you saw there, to go for like the armor investment and everything like that. But Lecro moving in there before Reds can even get into Checkers, immediately shut down by him. And there's a pathway opened up into the B-bombs at the sudden switch. This is what Epsilon thought was going to happen 2 or 3 rounds ago, but now it's happening here.
So here we go. Rest goes down to begin with, but Draken answers back, and now he has to rotate back. Very nice decision. I did not want him to peek that because Flusher was on the direct other side. Draken once again with the cool head and the cool decision making makes him still stand here in this round. 4v4, but clearly the weapon advantage is with Godsent, but Callie's position here could be key.
Still waiting for Godsent to actually initiate, though. They found that first kill. However, waiting for this one is going to send some of the players from Epsilon out of the woodwork, and that's where Barbar pushes out, but makes them a same fatal mistake. He's going to go down. Schneider catching Freddy, pushing out again. It's that aggression that once more catches these guys out. Kale finds the kill into Lecro. Flusha dropping Draken, and now Kale's stuck in a 1v3. He's got basically a limited time to play with here, but they've already found him, and there you have it now. Flusha is going to shut things down, and Godsent will take control of the second map. 16-11 is going to be the final score. They lose it, and we are sent on to a third and final map to decide who is going to be the second team heading over to the major qualifier from Europe.
Great to see that Flusha and the guys from Godsent can bounce back mentally and reset from that incredible loss. That was so hard hitting for them, to be honest. And they mentally reset, they get back in this one, and they actually did it in quite a convincing fashion. That was not like a close 16-14 in an overtime game coming in there. So a couple of rounds to spare for the Godsent guys, and now they're ready to bring it into map 3.
Yeah, quite a good shutdown from them. And again, the big players, obviously JW showing up in big time there, and Lecro is the other one. Specifically in the first half, Lecro had some really great play that saves them in multiple situations there. Of course, we have the analysts waiting for us. We're going to bring them back into the conversation here to talk a little bit more about this second map.
Indeed, we will. Yes, Blue. I mean, the desk said it shouldn't, but it will. Godsent will take the second, and I think that's a nice way to summarize it, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Lots of risks taken by the Swedish side. You see what I did there?
Well
Just
played.
basically
Well played.
vague sweeping statements that doesn't apply to anyone. I'm very good at those.
No, it applies to everyone.
Or everyone or anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nice work. All right, we'll let you guys get going because you've got a lot more casting to be doing. But we will start understanding exactly how things have played out here because cash does go the way of Godsent. So, Natu, we start with you because you were on the tilt train. you were
Slightly.
You were shoveling
I think
coal into it.
I was on the first class of that.
Yeah. So while you're shoveling coal into the tilt train, you were telling us that Godsent have very little structure to their T side. You're expecting them to look awful, and then they win.
Still not great though.
No,
But at least
they found mid.
Yeah, they did find mid. It's a start. It's a start.
Yeah.
But still, like, there's still a lot of little things that they're missing out on. For example, when they're hitting B bomb site, there's Molotovs you can use so you can make it into a very claustrophobic experience for the CTs. Instead, they go in dry a lot of times, meaning that if there's an op in there, he can just take a peek, get that free first shot, and that's going to be a massive plummet to the attack.
Yeah, and that's pretty much my biggest gripe about Godsent's T side really this time around. You know, going lenient on them in that sense. But their B executes in the first best of 3 they had versus Epsilon, they ran into the same issue, the fact that Raz plays that bomb site very well in a passive position, but he's not. But obviously, like, it's not as hard as it should be for him to actually be successful with it because they use their Molotovs to clear out a lot of. I think they use at times 3 Molotovs to clear out checkers, which is fair, but you should still have 2 more that you can use for headshot and the back of sight. So, no, I mean the close corner. So, yeah. Still work to be done for Godsent, no doubt, but at least they came to the realization that actually splitting A instead of just running in dry, kind of like you know, the old school French teams used to do.
This is the
definitely better.
exactly.
There should be a Molotov there, whereas this standing.
And there needs to be a flash when they run in there.
For sure.
Instead, they just walk on in and are greeted by an AWP and a rifle.
You're just making things so much harder for yourself,
Right.
because there's ways to avoid that situation.
Problems are starting to mount for either side, as Epsilon, that was their map pick. Both sides have lost their map pick. It's almost like we're back in Moscow as we get back to that too familiar situation where neither side seems to be able to make too much of an impact on their own map. What's our next map, gentlemen? My brain has gone blank.
Cobble.
Yeah.
It is Cobblestone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I have got notes here, but it's just it's gone past that point. Let's have a look at the scoreboard and have a look at exactly how people did perform on that second one before we can start talking about that third. And that is a very, very contrasting performance from Barbar after saving his team, after winning Mirage near single-handedly, or at least that round that did determine it. And now just a simple 8 on Cash.
It's like when a superhero goes, into like the super level, like when they go beyond their normal strength level, right?
Yeah. Like when you have to catch like the whole village, like
yeah,
it's all,
or you're Superman, you have to kind of change the orbit of the Earth or something. So you get charged out, and I think that's what happened to Barbar in this game.
No, it easily does. Like you kind of blow off steam at that point when you get that kind of round, right? Yeah. So it can easily happen where your focus is not going to be on point.
Yeah. You're still sitting there like, I wonder if I'm on front page of Reddit. I wonder if I'm checking.
Yeah. To be fair, he is.
He certainly is. And Lecro,
rest assured,
again, continuing to prove to be such a viable shift for them. Moving from Crims to Lecro and seeing him already not only topping the scoreboards, that numbers don't tell the whole story, but it does seem like he's getting them out of some tight spots.
Yeah, and I think Blue mentioned that as well before they threw it over, the fact that he was incremental for them on the CT side especially.
Yeah.
And that's where he did most of the work in the sense that that's where he had the most impactful frags. And that's in many ways what saved Godsent's round, because again, they mess about. They do get lucky because they do win 2 ecos throughout that side, but still, if it's not for Lecro, that could very easily go sideways for them, where they end up in a situation where they lose control over their money and end up with, at best, shoddy buys every other round. And that's obviously a grand opportunity for Epsilon to get back into the game, which they did to a certain extent. They did end up salvaging that first half.
Yeah. And so quickly, I need to ask you guys, do Godsent look better with Lecro than they did Crims?
Too early to say.
Yeah. Too
early?
Jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
But we can take away that Lecro looks good, and Godsent, they could very well be picking up a major qualifier spot, because it is going to be coming down to that final map. Ucasa will be talking about that after our break, but first, you guys have been throwing questions at us from the community. I may be throwing questions, but you can too. And this time it comes from Memorate. He says, which of these two teams has a higher skill ceiling? Now, I feel like there's one team in particular, but then suddenly we realize that the entire dialogue for both of these teams throughout the entire 3-day event here in Bucharest has been, what do we say for Epsilon?
Individual skill.
What do we say for Godsent?
Individual skill.
Right. This is actually quite a good question. Thank you very much, Memorate. I'll start with you, Natty.
Right now, Godsent.
Okay.
But these kids on Epsilon are still so raw. They're still new, so that there's not enough sample size. Let's see in a couple of years' time.
Years. That's a long time.
Pretty much Epsilon now or Epsilon of 2013 in ways, like you mentioned before this map. But yeah, right now skill ceiling is definitely higher on Godsent.
Well, because we've seen it.
Well, exactly. You know what at that point, yeah, because otherwise you have to go very arbitrary and talk about the moon and the stars and everything to
how they shift.
Exactly, and like how potentially res. Like at that point, you have to talk about
guessing. It's just going to be a guessing game.
It's completely random.
And judging from like FPL, phase, like the kind of gathers and whatnot. The sample size is there for the major champions.
Pretty big
for obvious reasons, and not so much for guys that pretty much had their maiden tournament at the first minor here in January. So
a very realistic and logical answer from the guys here at the panel. If you want to keep asking them questions, the link was just beneath me. I think it's very easy to find. If not, you'll be able to find it on Reddit as well. There's a thread up run by PGL. So we're going to take a break. When we do come back, we're going to be jumping into our third map of our second game of the day here in Bucharest. Stay tuned.